So we'll start with what a great team looks like, and then we'll move on to I'll try and think of some ways to help with a toxic team.
Yeah.
So now this takes me back actually to, I guess I think it was in about my mid-30s, I guess, and I'd never managed a team of more than about 4 or 5 people, so not really just a small unit, small group of people. But I was asked to take on the management, the leading of a team of over 50. Obviously it's a really daunting thing, and I'd never really had to be consciously thinking about what makes a great team. But this had to be a great team because it was such a big, important team for the company. So obviously this is when I started to develop this thinking and do a lot of research on it. And I've kind of, I guess I've distilled this into the thought that an effective team has these 4 components to it that are well defined. That's the key thing. They're well defined and known by the team. And obviously there's goals. Every team needs to have a clear set of written down specific goals that they want to achieve, ideally, eventually, but also importantly each year, or each time frame. So goals. Then rules. So these are like rules of engagement. I mean, they can be very boring things, very admin type things, like you must complete your timesheet every week by the end of the next Monday or whatever. Just specific things you have to do to function as a team and work together. Roles means everyone clearly knows what their role is, and how it interacts, how it relates to other team members. And actually, I've noticed in problematic teams in the past, one of the big problems is the roles aren't clearly defined, so it's unclear when a task comes up who should do it. And either you have a problem that more than one person really wants to do it and fights in some way have a conflict to get that, or the other way around, doesn't want to do it and thinks the other person should. So being really clear, and so that no one really has to ask, or there should be a system for clarification. Right. But the point is, everyone knows what they're doing and how it all connects together, real clear clarity. And then also, I think values are actually increasingly, especially important. And these aren't life values. They aren't values about moral values. They're values relating, obviously, to the team. And I picked out some examples of things I mean. Things like, that everyone expects everyone to help create an inclusive environment. That could be a written down value that this team has to signs up to when they join, effectively, which is important, really important. And in fact, that's the kind of thing, some people call it a team charter, where you get together and you agree as a set of people, guided by the leader, but not driven by, so not completely, not laid down by. The values are. Another value might be, we will always be looking for ways to improve the way the team works.
Right.
Or the quality of our output or whatever. That might be another value that you all agree to share. Or it might be, that it's important that we always make decisions based on our team objectives, our goals. Yeah, that's how we make decisions. Well, will it help towards our team objectives or will it not? Those are the kind of things that can be in values. So I guess, back to the question there, I would say, if you've got a toxic team, try and make sure that these 4 things are clear, and then make sure that your team has hopefully contributed to shaping these things as well. And then use that as the we say in English, the yardstick that you can, the shared, the thing you could point to and say, but what your behavior here or what you did yesterday is against our rules, or it's not reflecting our values, or isn't your responsibility, your role, etc. So it might take a bit of work to lay these things down, and it's hard work to go from a toxic team to a good team, but it is possible. And it usually means, and I haven't come prepared to talk about this one, but there's a section in my book about handling difficult conversations, and another one about handling conflict, and you'll need both of those techniques as well.
Right.
Now I think I've got a bonus slide here, Raoul. In this section, I snuck in a few extras. Because I thought it was a nice metaphor and a pretty picture. In terms of team roles, I think a strong team needs to have at least one person who can do one person who can do each of these things. It could be the same person doing more than one of these things, or it could be several people doing one, but these all need to be reflected. For example, you see the direction in the middle going up to belief at the top there. You need someone who's going to have direction and belief, but belief we can do this as a team. Right. Belief is a good thing to do, and an interesting thing to do, a fun thing to do. And often those two, they can be the same person, not always. They're often the leader, not always, although direction almost always has to come from the leader, really. But, yeah.
Right.
And then you have all these other roles, and you can see how these relate quite closely, actually, to the personality kind of preferences that people tend to have or can have.
Right.
So in a team, you need people who are good at figuring things out practically. Rigor, you need the rigor to make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're doing it accurately and correctly. You need ideas and inspiration, which is where I usually came in, hopefully. And also, something you do need a bit of provocation. Someone who will just challenge you and everyone, challenge the thinking in an appropriate way. And you also need clarity and harmony so that the whole flower doesn't fall over. If you see what I mean, harmony that means that it stays together.